Hey folks, how you doing? Just living in my car because I said something bad about the fraternity. Now I'm being gang stalked by FBI, CIA, NSA, JFK, KGB, and Mossad. So I'm living in my car, but it's alright. You should take advice from me. So the new term for gang stalking is targeted individuals. I used to spend some time arguing with the flat earthers, and it kind of happened that like my spiritual journey took me down this path where I was trying to prove with materialism like why my spirituality is right, and it led me to the conclusion that gravity is kind of bullshit. So I was telling some people in real life that I thought gravity was bullshit, and it's like 2013, 14, and they said that was flat earth. And so I had to figure out what flat earth was about, and I argued with flat earthers for a long time. I can see myself arguing with targeted individuals quite a bit in the near future, especially with all this free time I got to just play on the internet. You know, there ain't enough things to fix in real life, so let's cause new problems in Second Life. But anyways, targeted individuals is kind of a insidious idea that's really going to ravage the last individuals on the planet. I mean, like, America is like, what's it founded on? It's supposed to be about individualism, right? And I'm not really buying that. And I don't think even if America was founded on individualism, it might be time to throw that one out, because as an individual becomes more and more isolated, the more hostile to society they're gonna get. So like, I've been making some stuff about like lefty pole enthusiasm. Like, I'm supposed to be celebrating that we're gonna have like a harmonic unity between everybody that's taking the juice. But you know, there's other unities that we need to add. So American values, I see a theme in American values. Unity is a lot bigger of a theme, and some of that comes with the pyramid, and some of it comes with the chains on our early currency. But a lot of it comes in the discussion. So our founding fathers, on July 4th, they did the Declaration of Independence. Happy Independence Day. On July 5th, they met back up. They weren't all hungover, and they had committee meeting, and they wanted to talk about the symbols and the memes of what like America is supposed to represent, and like why they just shot up the kings, like why they're going to war against the crown. And from July 5th, 1776 until like 1785 or something. I'm driving. I'm not gonna be able to look this shit up, so you guys can just prove me all kinds of wrong. But it wasn't until like 1785 that they even had to talk about any constitutions or bills of rights or anything like that. So they were talking about, for 10 years they were talking about the Great Seal, and that's the eagle that you see on the president's podium, and there's some different varieties of it. But just read. I got the book. I'm gonna read it to y'all. But just read the meeting notes of those committees of what the symbols of America are supposed to represent, because then they're telling you what they're handing down to their children, and they don't say anything about they're handing something down to a bunch of individuals so they can be consumers. This is for our progeny. This is for our children. Like, this is something that we're doing that's gonna last. So that supposedly money says the New World Order on it. It doesn't say that. If you know anything about Latin, it says New Order of the Ages, and it starts at 1776. That's the Roman numerals right after it. It's not like they're talking about in 2025 there's going to be a New World Order that comes with the Fourth Industrial Revolution that his family was all about. But 13th generation American son of liberty. But anyways, individualism's over with, man. So I kind of been a one single issue voter for some time, and it's because, once you have a spiritual perspective, everything goes to that spiritual lens. And my single issue voting has been a lot about, does this politician believe that we should use organized violence, which is what politics is? Should we use organized violence to hold the Holy Land or make Zion where we're sitting? And, there's a couple different ideas about that. And the Puritans that founded the country were more about pilgrimage to the Holy Land, if that's going to be an option. And the Quakers who founded the country were like, the Holy Land, the Spirit Temple is inside of you. And the Quakers, to me, seem to be kind of like the founding liberals, and the Puritans are like the founding conservatives. I'm way off anyways. I was talking about individualism. It's gone. You're not an individual. You need to do, Jesus says you need to honor your folks. If you ain't got something else going on, just run the same race that your parents are running. And if your parents weren't up to nothing, they were busy being their own people, then just take it back. And if that still don't work, then, maybe you're an orphan or you're a widow's son. Find something else to be a part of and have a fellowship, because you're gonna... I've actually been trying to find ways to promote the individual and promote egoism, and I am not a believer in the hive mind. I'm not really a believer in the social pressure juice. I'm a believer in individualism, and individualism is something that comes from the ego. And the ego, if we want to promote the ego, we have to inspire ego devotion, and there is nothing like that. I've been trying to make a video about promoting ego where I just clap on some beat tracks or whatever. Somebody's sitting around talking about good ego, go ego. I can't find any of those videos. So if you can find one, send it to me, and I'll try and mix it. Especially if they got a good cadence where they're like on it, and I could keep a rhythm with them. That'd be real easy. But I can't find much of anything where people are promoting ego. So I mean, there's that problem right there. We're gonna need to generate from the ground up a culture that idolizes ego, that isn't, Anton Casander Levine. Because I think if I was gonna dig up like pro-ego religiosity right now, almost all of it would just be like that New Age Satanism shit that came from, who's that read from right to left. But so even notions that we can cherish the ego come wrapped in Satanism, right? So, the mythology, there's metaphysical ultra egos that underlie, like, sublime every aspect of our lives. And they're like the principles of the universe in all of its ways. Like Echo is an ego of a god that once did a thing that apparently the god wanted to honor, and make that something that can manifest physically among mortals. And so, like, I believe that there's all these egos that are present, that are driving all these natural phenomena. So, like, Jonah is an ego, and Samson's an ego, and Jesus is an ego, and you are an ego. And the world revolves around you, man. And, like, I'm pointing at a camera, so it doesn't make sense that I'm saying the world revolves around you. But, like, it does. It revolves around each of us individually, and it revolves around all of us at the same time. And, like, I can't really explain. I can use a I'll just crop that in later if I chop this video up. But, my politics, if none of these politicians are about, we should possess the Holy Land, or this is the Holy Land, then they got nothing for me. But I've been thinking, like, what else can we do? If we can't take the Holy Land because that's, bad guy stuff, and the Holy Land isn't here because we're white and that's evil and it's the Holy Land for natives, we need to go to Mars. So, like, my political ideology going into 2024 will be whichever politician is talking about, the right wants to babysit the Middle East and the left wants to babysit the third world, Like, and I think we need to go to Mars, and we need to flee an asteroid. If an asteroid comes and wipes us out, it's gonna undo everything we ever did. Like, good job. So all of humanity could be united against dying on this planet. You know, everyone except one male and one female should be willing to go populate the rest of the solar system and the rest of the galaxy, and we're going to civilize the universe. We're going to gentrify the multiverse. Everyone is going to be on board because they won't have an option. We're going to convert the Martians to Christianity. And I mean, that's my politics. We're going to Mars, and I won't stop until we're there, because Mars is where Zion is now. So we're going to take it back, and the Martians are going to convert to Christianity whether they want to or not. And we're not going to sit around here and hold the hand of everybody that's trying to come get in my land. And we're not going to go to the Middle East and babysit whatever they got going on. We're going to go to Mars, and we're going to civilize the universe. And so every politician that comes up, they talk about going to Mars. Nope, get rid of them, because that's it. That's all there is left to do. You know, I guess the depths of the ocean are left to be discovered, and you know, the brain is the last frontier, if you say so. Let's take it off world. Let's do something big. You know, the first person on Mars has to be willing to dig his own grave, and the second group on Mars needs to be willing to put up a cross. The third group on Mars needs to be willing to try and start building plumbing. These guys, you're gonna die. These are gonna be like saran wrap PVC forts all over the surface of Mars for hundreds of years before we ever get anywhere. But we need to manifest our Lord's destiny across the universe. Do something good for the Lord, you know, something miraculous, like survive an asteroid impact. Later, y'all.